listen. So I am about to get on a, hold on one second. Trying to stream this. I am, where did it go, man? All right. I am about to get on a coaching call with a client that I have, a PT. Wants to work 3 days a week and make 300,000 to 400,000. Take home, not gross. A lot of people talk about like, oh, I make X amount. Like, dude, you got overhead, man. Like, that's not really that true type thing, right? You know. Um, so wants to make 300,000 to 400,000 working 20 hours a week, right? So I did the math, and I'm like, okay, here's how we do it. Currently owns a clinic, but takes mostly insurance. So we're going to get him out of that and get him over into a cash-based model. Okay. Now, the one of the things people say to me is like, dude, how is that math possible, man? Like, I'm working 40 hours a week. I call it the cash PT rat race, or the insurance rat race. If you own an insurance clinic and you are if you own an insurance clinic and you are pulling anything remotely profitable out of that clinic, I think you're brilliant. Because I know, I know, I know people that own those clinics, and they're pulling like a physical therapist assistant salary out of like a 4 therapist clinic, right? So they got to open like 9 of them to, type thing, to like really make money on that. The fact that these like around here it's like I don't know, it is 20 to $40 co-payment, and that's all you get. And I'm sitting there from the insurance company, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, why don't they just trace their middle finger and fax it to us, these insurance companies? Like, you honestly should just trace it, and then like it would be more upfront with us as owners if they did that. Like, basically we're screwing you over. I mean, my kid's haircut costs more than that. You get your nails done, you know, costs more than that type thing, right? Like, it's a total scam. So, and then when I took insurance, like when I first started, I was trying to take insurance, but they wouldn't let me in the networks because it was too saturated in the market for physical therapy, right? I was having like panic attacks in the middle of the night. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? Right? Obamacare had just come in and it dropped reimbursement down to like 30 or $40. All the doctors consolidated in that area, the hospitals, and they were not telling them, but bringing in them then and writing them up, they told me, if they referred outside of the hospital system. So it became a totally different animal. Anyways, when it comes to what I'm about to talk about, so everybody that signs up for my program, remember, it's a hybrid clinical and business mentorship. Hybrid. You need the clinical skills in order to be a super specialist, positioned as a super specialist, my target in marketing, to be able to bring people in. No sales techniques, no workshops, no talking people how to use their insurance. You get the person out of pain. If you went to somebody who got you out of pain, right, versus someone who used some kind of sales job on you and talked about how they can get you to play with your kids again, who are you going to sign up with? You know what I'm saying? You need the clinical skills, and no one's talking about it. Okay. Now, I specifically told this therapist, find a physical therapist near you that takes insurance, and tell them you are going to start shoveling them patients. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I teach my business owners to refer patients out? Because not everybody can pay what it costs for us to see a super specialist like us, right? Not everybody can pay for that, but it's important to me. Most people, everybody I talk to has a huge heart, right? We're healers. We just wanted to get into this profession to help, right? So we're healers, And it's important to me around here when patients come in, they can't afford me. I can't think of anything worse than being broken and chronic pain. So what I do is I get them to a clinic down the road, okay? And that does my methods and that takes insurance and I get those patients over there. So in my mind, I believe that they have the highest probability of getting better. Okay, so this person got all my clinical methods the moment he signed up for my cash-based clinical business hybrid coaching program. Okay, then he got my business course about how this works. We relieve their pain. We don't use sales techniques. Okay, we relieve the patient's pain. We show them what was missed using my diagnostic procedures, where we find out what's happening. Um, it's not as harsh as it sounds. Just because these people have fallen through the cracks, it's usually mechanical issues. Um, and most of them have diagnosed themselves in here before they come in here because I advertise solely on Instagram and Facebook. And I do that because people watch these ad videos and they see me describing these mechanical issues the way that they described it to me for years. And I put those in ads, sent them out. And people watch them in the middle of the night where they can't sleep. And they're like, dude, I got this condition this guy's talking about, you know? And they drive an hour and a half, 3 hours, whatever, to come here because that's how far my marketing extends. And I relieve their pain. I don't do sales techniques, right? I relieve their pain and I show them what was wrong, how they fell through the cracks in the medical system, and what we need to do to fix it. A good 75%, they all generally want to do it. A good 75% can't afford it. Okay. And the ones that can't afford it, um, then I get to the clinic down the road, which is what I'm teaching this student when I hop on this coaching call. Is I said, go find a physical therapist near you that takes insurance. Tell them you're about to start shuffling on patients. I jokingly said to my assistant the other day, I said to her, I was kind of half joking that this clinic down the road, I actually am waiting for this clinic to like put me on their advisory board. Everybody knows how that works, like orthopedic surgeons, their advisory board, because I think I'm one of their biggest referral sources. I shovel this 75% of people that come in here, and this never ending a trail of orthopedic trail of tears, I call it. I actually get to an insurance based clinic because it's important to me that someone's doing my methods to help them. If you're just hopping on, comment any questions, whatever you have below about how I created a 7-figure 20-hour week cash-based clinic. Anyways, so it's important to me. So when I get on this call, I'm going to ask this therapist, hey man, do you have these marketing videos that I teach you how to do? I need these videos of you describing these conditions in these certain ways, right? And that's I give you homework every time. Like people are like people. Okay, a lot of people have done my what is it? My SI protocol, right? A lot of people, my medical papers have statistically made medical history and readership. So a lot of people have done are doing my SI evaluation technique, diagnostic technique, and protocol, right? I hear from people all the time, all over the world, Nigeria, Bulgaria, you name it. People are like, dude, that's crazy. That's changing lives. Of India, that's changing lives over here, right? And what I did was create a method, right? If you read my root cause of plantar fasciitis paper, then I created a method, right? I created a method with this too. What I do is I teach you, like, okay, first visit, this is what I need. First cash-based coaching client visit, this is what I need. Second visit, this is what I need. Okay, and we set the clinic up, but at the same time, you're working on your clinical skills by taking my courses, using my protocols and diagnostic procedures. Okay, you get the 1,000 pages of maps of the body everybody wants from my myofascial method, where I detail in a paper I wrote back in like 2016. I call them reflex pain points, meaning that in the paper I wrote, I described them that they reflexively shut pain off. Okay, so that's what I do is just relieve their pain type thing. And when they come in, and then they trust you. It's not some sales job, right? X amount of people say no. X amount of people say yes. And the people, it's the same, it's like basically the same every month, plus or minus like 3 percentage points. And the no-show rate, the cancel rate, it's like an actuary. And then the people that sign up, about 25% of people sign up with me. And the people that sign up with me, we work together. It's $800 for 30 minutes. The ones that can't afford me, I get them to a clinic, an insurance clinic down the road that I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for them to put me on their advisory board, like an orthopedic surgeon. Pay me like $25,000 a year, like they do for the referral sources, the end around in the industry type thing, right? And everybody wins, like it's important to me that patients get access to like my therapist as well if they can't afford it. So everybody wins in this model. This isn't like sorry, you can't afford it type thing. No, man, I'll get you down the road. If people object, I need to use my insurance. There's no like psychological operation going on here. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, there's a place down the road. Like, I'm not trying to manipulate patients out of using their insurance. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a healer. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want patients coming in here feeling like they're in a used car dealership with a pushy salesperson. Okay. You're a healer too. If you're watching this, you're a healer too. You're not interested in that crap either. Okay. But that's the game. That's the catch-based PTDC coaching industry, is that they teach you this like kind of psychological operation, how to get people they call, well, do you take Blue Cross Blue Shield? Well, a lot of our patients have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but can I ask you what's going on with you? And the longer you keep that person on the phone, you will be taught, the more likelihood they sign up with you. But guess what I do in here? Call my office. When someone calls my office and they say, hey, do you take Blue Cross Blue Shield? My assistant will tell you no. How much does it cost to see me? Hundreds of dollars. The reason why is because I don't want people in here that aren't the right fit for us. Well, is there anybody that does his methods around? Yeah, actually, right down the road. Totally different. I realized years ago that I flipped this model on its head. I didn't understand what I did. I flipped like a lot of the clinical stuff on its head too. The SI joint doesn't move, right? I published a paper showing that they went from positive prone press-up test to a negative one. How could that happen if you pull on their leg, right? It moved, right? So I realized that I was doing the exact opposite of what everyone teaches. Okay, so when I get on the sales call, okay, I'm sales call, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. When I get on this coaching call with this client, this physical therapist who wants to get out of the insurance-based rat race, I'm going to ask him, have you started using my methods that I gave you all my clinical courses as part of the mentorship, the business mentorship? Have you started using my courses on patients? Have you watched the 5-hour business course? Okay. Of how this strategy works. Totally different. Relieve the pain, show them the price. No sales techniques, no workshops, no talking people how to use their insurance. Okay, which is a dream for physical therapists and chiropractors that people don't believe can happen. And then I'm going to ask him about these marketing videos that I do. Okay, I want to know if you did. I'm going to give you action items. Action items like you need to get these to me. If you like, a lot of people, how quickly can we launch this? I say is I work as fast as you work. Get me this stuff. Okay, I get with my marketing team, and we build your landing page, the funnel, and let's rock. You need $1,500 a month minimum to market. Okay, that's the biggest expense in this model. People are like, well, I don't have $1,500, Ryan. I'm broke. Right? Well, guess what? When I started a clinic, I gotta go soon. When I started a clinic, I guess what I did? I paid my rent on a credit card. I paid my rent on a credit card. The landlord thought I was nuts. But guess what? I had a pulse and a license for physical therapy, and I knew that I could get a job anywhere. So I just worked like in a nursing home. Did I want to work in a nursing home? No. God bless people that work at nursing homes. They need help too. But did I want to work in it? No. I wanted to work in orthopedics. But I knew I could pay that. So I knew I wasn't going to be busy. So I worked 3 days a week. I work 3 days a week as a staff, staff PT, and 2 days a week in my clinic. And then I work 2, 3, the opposite, right? And then I was out of it. I quit that job and I was home free, and at the time was a hybrid cash-based clinic model because they wouldn't let me in. The industry was too saturated, the demographic, the insurance companies told me. So anyways, it was a blessing in disguise. I got to treat chronic pain patients and figure out what was happening in my patients. So other than that, all right, y'all, I gotta go, gotta get on this call. Comment hybrid below if you're interested in 7-figure 20-hour-a-week cash-based clinic with a hybrid clinical teachings. I I market and brand you and your clinic as a super specialist in chronic pain. This is not traditional physical therapy. Okay. Other than that, if you have any questions, drop them below. Comment hybrid below if you wanted me to DM you more information. Peace, y'all. Have a good day.